I got jury duty while living 2,500 miles away in Colombia. I get a letter in the mail at a relative's house in North Carolina. Jury duty, March 12th, 8:40 in the morning, in a county I've never lived in, while I'm living in Colombia. So I scanned the QR code they gave me to request an excuse. The website is blocked in Colombia. So now I'm sitting in Bogota, summoned to court, in a county I've never lived in, trying to VPN my way into the North Carolina judicial system. So I don't have to pay $900 for a plane ticket to earn $12. 12. That's not $12 an hour, that's $12 for the day. North Carolina's minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, which means if I worked a full 8-hour day at jury duty, I would legally owe myself more money than the state is paying me. And here's the thing, the P. Diddy Sean Combs trial in New York ran 8 weeks. 8 weeks of jury duty. You want to know what that pays? We'll get to that because the math is something. I'm Matt, the Americano. I live in Bogota, Colombia, and apparently the North Carolina court system still thinks I'm hanging out in Randolph County. Let's talk about this. For over 30 years, I've lived in Guilford County, North Carolina. Greensboro, that was the home base. I have never, not once, lived in Randolph County. But last year, when I renewed my North Carolina driver's license, I used a relative's address since I no longer have a home in the U.S. And that address is in Randolph County. That's all it takes. Jury pools are pulled from voter registrations and DMV records. So if your driver's license says you live somewhere, the court system believes you live somewhere. And since I still keep my North Carolina license, that's the address they had. Now, before someone in the comments says it, yes, I do still have a car in North Carolina. It barely gets driven. It sits there for the 4 times a year I fly back to see my sons and family, about a week at a time. North Carolina license plate. So from a systems perspective, North Carolina driver's license, North Carolina license plate, relative's address in Randolph County. It looks like I live there, but I live in Bogota. Colombian visa, 5 years. Colombian cedula, 320 plus days a year outside the United States. I don't own or rent a home in North Carolina. What happened wasn't malicious. It wasn't me trying to dodge anything. It was simply how government databases talk to each other. And apparently, they talk faster than they verify. So the summons had a QR code for the online excuse form. I scan it. North Carolina's judicial website is geo-blocked in Colombia, which means if you're an American living here and you get jury duty, you literally cannot access the form you're required to fill out. So I turn on my VPN, my favorite VPNs are in the description, and suddenly I'm back in North Carolina. But imagine if you're older, not tech savvy, you don't realize it's geo-blocked, you just think the website is broken, what happens then? Do you not respond? Do you get fined? Do you get held in contempt of a court you can't legally access? This is the weird part about being an expat. Even when you physically leave the United States, you don't leave the system. You still file taxes, you maintain licenses, you have bank accounts, you exist in databases, and sometimes those databases don't really understand geography. I'm 2,500 miles away, but the computer says I'm down the street. So now the real question, if they deny my excuse, do I actually have to fly back? A round-trip ticket from Bogota to North Carolina, somewhere between $500 and $1,200, depending on whether you want a cushion on your seat or not. Talking to you, Spirit. Day 1 jury pay, $12. At $20 a day after that, I needed 75 days of jury service just to cover airfare, which brings me to the P. Diddy trial. The Sean Combs trial in New York ran 8 weeks. 8 weeks. Now, New York pays jurors $40 a day, which sounds better than North Carolina's $12, until you do the math. 8 weeks, 40 days of court, $40 a day. That's $1,600 before taxes. For 8 weeks of your life, sitting in a Manhattan courtroom listening to testimony that I can only describe as a lot and scarring. And here's where it gets fun. A hotel in Manhattan, because obviously jurors on a high-profile case don't just take the subway home. Runs maybe $300 to $400 a night, so if they sequestered you for the deliberation phase, which for a trial this size is entirely possible, the hotel bill alone would have erased your entire $1,600 in about 4 nights. You would have paid to be there. But wait, there's more. Because if you're self-employed or a contractor, jury duty doesn't pause your bills. Your rent is still due. Your clients still need work while you're sitting in courtroom 15C hearing about things you will never be able to unhear. Your business is just waiting for you. Some employers cover jury duty pay, but most don't. Now let's say you were actually sequestered, cut off from outside contact, phone restricted, no social media, news blackout for a trial involving someone famous. A news blackout on that trial for 8 weeks. By the time you got out, you'd have 47,000 unread notifications and absolutely zero context for any of them. Your friends would have moved on to 3 different news cycles. What happened with the trial, you'd ask? You were there, they'd say. I'm not saying jury duty isn't important. It is. It's one of the few ways regular people directly participate in the justice system, and I actually mean that. But civic duty and financial reality are two different conversations, and right now the country is only having one of them. So I didn't ignore it. I VPN'd into the North Carolina court system, found the excuse form, and filled it out. The next day they emailed me back. Please provide documentation of out-of-country resident. Fair, so I gave them Colombian cedula, my 5th year of a Colombian visa, passport photo page, entry and exit stamps, and a screenshot of their own website being blocked in Colombia because that felt relevant. And yes, I included my YouTube channel. I publish 3 to 4 videos a week about living in Colombia. If I'm faking living abroad, I am extremely committed to the bit. I also told them, and I'm quoting myself here, it would absolutely be a hardship for me to have to buy an airplane ticket to come in for jury duty. That being said, I'm down for it if North Carolina wants to buy me a plane ticket, and I'm being serious. It would be a fun experience at this point in my life. That part was only half joking. 10 minutes later, they responded. After reviewing your request and your attachments, I do find that you are eligible to be excused. No drama, no threats, no warrant, just you're excused. They also noted this doesn't permanently remove me from the jury pool. I could get summoned again in the future. Fair enough. This isn't a story about getting out of jury duty. It's about something most people don't think about when they move abroad. You don't automatically leave the system. You can move to Colombia, Spain, Thailand, wherever. But if you still have a driver's license, a registered vehicle, a mailing address, or bank accounts in a U.S. state, you exist in those databases. And those databases don't know you're sipping coffee in Bogota. They only know what the address says. In the eyes of the state, your address is your reality. It's not malicious, it's automated. And automation doesn't ask follow-up questions. The tether shows up in small ways: jury duty, registration renewals, insurance notices, and occasionally in a QR code that doesn't work from your current continent. The honest answer is, if they had denied my request, I would have had to figure it out. I wasn't going to ignore it. Ignoring government mail is never a growth strategy. But the lesson is simple. If you move abroad and you actually want to sever state-level ties, you have to do it deliberately. Surrender the license, re-register elsewhere, update everything, because physically relocating and legally relocating are two completely different things. And if you're not ready to do that yet, which is totally valid, I still have the license in the car, just know that the system still has your address, and occasionally it will use it. So here's what I want to know. If you were living abroad and got a jury summons, would you fly back? What if it was a high-profile case? What if it was 8 weeks? And if you've had your own bureaucratic adventure as an expat, jury duty, taxes, licenses, anything, drop it in the comments, because I have a feeling I'm not the only one who's VPN'd their way into democracy. I'm Matt the Americano, still listed as a Randolph County resident in at least one database. Subscribe if you want more of this. Links below for the Passport newsletter, Bogotá Nomads, and Broker. All are free. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.